Hey guys, it's Elizabeth from the Toy Hoarder, and today I have a ridiculously massive toy. Look, I can barely even fit in the screen anymore because look how huge this toy is. It's so big that there's actually a handle on top. I don't even think you can see it in this video. Oh my goodness. You guys, this thing is huge, and it's heavy, and it's epic. And I was trying to wait to do the sets, but I'm too excited. I need to open a set now. And as always, pause the video if needed to read anything on the box. I'm going to show this part a little closer up. I love this wanted poster. This is so cool. Alright folks, I've decided to do a double unboxing and review video on these two sets, the Wreckin Roller and the Hex Castle. So I'm going to show you the sides of the box real quick before I get this open. Now this is a very heavy box, and of course if you want to stop anywhere and pause the video to read anything, please feel free to do that. Oh my goodness, try to turn this around. It is very heavy and very large, and I also have to show you this box has a really cool pop-up feature that is going to be really interesting to try to show you. Maybe I can move back far enough that you can see it, but oh my goodness. It is a 2-foot tall thing. Here we go. Oh, it's all in the screen now, and I'm going to bring it up closer so that you can see. Oh my goodness. Here's the top part of it. Again, very, very difficult to do a video of this because these boxes are obnoxiously huge. Alright, sorry guys, I forgot to show you just a little bit closer on this one side so that you could read that. Also, to save time and repetitiveness in the videos, since these are both boxed the same way, I am only going to show you the unboxing of one set, which I'm going to unbox the Wreckin Roller here in just a minute. First, I want to note that both boxes are actually designed the same way with the handle. There is a handle in the top, but instead of this handle being cut out so that you could open the top and flip it open, it's just two holes. So if you start opening from the top, you're not getting it out of the top of the box. Already tried that, not gonna happen. You're gonna have to hit one of the two sides and then pull everything out of the sides. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing of the Wreckin Roller. So yes, what you wanted to do was open a side. Turn this so that you can see what's going on here, and then we'll be able to get this out. You guys, this is so cool! Okay, I know you can't see my face here because I'm standing, but there's so much epicness inside this box. So, we got that hunk. Just, oh, that's good. Instructions, always useful things. And then, of course, we've got Captain CannonBlast up here. Trying to move the bag so you can see. I feel like he's going to be a bit difficult to get out of here, but I am going to attempt that as well. I need to cut one more piece of tape for that. I'm trying to see if maybe I can just cut his cardboard piece out so that I can actually work with this. Okay, good. It does come out as a separate little hunk here of the cardboard. So now this is manageable. I don't think I'm going to keep this box. This box is really insanely obnoxious. I'd rather put the pieces in a bag or in, you know, maybe one of those Rubbermaid totes or something. But we will get it out. Ooh, good, there's tons of extra screws in here. That is super exciting. Actually, I guess I'm just gonna kind of set them inside this. Oh yeah, look at the treasure chest. I'm so easily distracted, but look, it's got all the tools in it. Oh, and it's actually all the tools that the bad guys are. So there's a crowbar for crow to bar, and there's a wrecking ball for wrecking ball burying. So here's all the contents you should have, and then how to transform Captain CannonBlast is on this page. Okay. Alright, this paper's really big and folded kind of funny. Alright, so how to transform him, and then how to build your Wreckin Roller, or how to build your Wreckin Roller. This is probably everybody else. Yeah, so here are the builders you can collect, here are the bashers you can collect, and here are the playsets you can collect. Oh my god, you're good! Okay, and look at this, this is gonna be so cool, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep calm enough to actually build this with you guys, but I'm really, really, really ridiculously excited about this. Okay. they tape these bags shut, and sometimes the tape comes off easily and sometimes it does not. That was one of those it does not, so I just cut it off, and there we go. I'll put this in the box. This is like Christmas, you guys, but better because I'm an adult and I can buy whatever toys I want. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, look at this thing. It just looks epic already. I didn't even know how it's gonna go together yet. I guess that's kind of part of it, is you can put it together in several different ways. There, we'll get this in the frame so that you can actually see what I'm working with. And then we will get this guy out. I don't know how yet, but... Alright, let's see. Looks like he has some of those clear T-tie, twist-tie things, as well as some different tabs that once you kind of cut the edges, oh, I guess I could show you what I'm doing here, kind of cut a square around where each of these tabs are that will allow you to, I say that and then I can't do it. There you go. Okay. It allows you to release that tab and then it should slide back out. It's kind of hard to see because this is a clear one, but here's an example of another one of the tabs. Actually, no, that's part of the box. Here's the other one of the tabs. Sorry about that. Okay, and then we've got this weird knotted twist tie looking thing. Yep, twist tie. Clear twist ties. That's crazy, you guys. Alright, I'm gonna undo this. This one is definitely not easy to get out of all the packaging. I'm not having a fun time here with this part. And the packaging is so obnoxious. Gosh, you guys saw how big that box was. I couldn't even fit in the frame. It was insane. Okay. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm trying not to freak out, but I'm really, really excited. Ooh. Alright. Come on. There are a few more things that need to be snipped. All these little T things all over his arms. Oops. Oh, he's got a pet parrot that actually detaches. That's fantastic. Also, there's a character called Crow DeBar. I did a unboxing and review of him on the channel if you want to check him out later. That comes with a little crow figure, and he also sits on his shoulder and his arm and everything. So hopefully that is the case with Captain CannonBlast, but we shall see. Captain CannonBlast is so funny. He's a super short little pirate guy, which I'll show you in a second. Here he is. This is actually Captain CannonBlast, the human one. And then he made this crazy, huge armor that is a giant cannon. And he wears it all over the place so that he looks bigger. Okay, first I want to go over the two figures. Main characters, I suppose, we have King Hex and Captain CannonBlast. So I'll do Captain CannonBlast first. For Captain CannonBlast, he looks fantastic. Now he is actually a smaller figure inside, and he has this large puppet armor on him. His bird is removable here, and he has several joints. He has shoulder joints on either side, as well as a double elbow joint. It's a little bit strange, but you can see he's kind of got extra rotation here. I think it's because he's got this Phillips head hook on his hand instead of a hand, so that he can become a tool. If we had a wrist joint here, it would be very difficult to use this tool, so we need the double elbow joint. Also, it's part of his transformation, which I will show you here. So what you need to do to transform him is bend his arms backwards, which is super cool that you can do that, but you're going to bend both arms backwards and then up, and then you flip the whole figure over. And now he is a little base of the cannon, and when you press this button on the back with the little fuse, he will be launched from the cannon. And here is your actual Captain CannonBlast figure, who's this short little angry pirate. And I'll show you the back of him and the bottom as well. He is a harder silicone type material, maybe like a bath toy, but more solid in the top, and then he's a little squishy on the bottom. Anyway, this is super cute and fun. Unfortunately, it is really hard to reload Captain CannonBlast. You have to really push to get it to click in, which no 3-year-old is going to be able to do this. I struggle, and I'm in my 20s, so I don't know about that, but I wish that was a little easier to handle. Put the bird right back on his shoulder, and we will talk about King Hex. King Hex has his scepter, which is part of his tool, and to transform him, you remove the scepter from his hand. You're going to move both arms up and to the sides, and you're going to move both of his legs together. There's a little peg and a hole on the side here that are going to connect. And then you need to push his head down and put the tool inside of his head. Now, I really don't see a need to push his head down, and you have to be really careful with this particular figure because it's not super well made. If you push his head down, good luck getting it back up. I had a very difficult time the first time I transformed him, so I no longer push his head down, and I've also looked this up on other people's reviews, and many people have said that his head gets completely stuck inside of his body. So don't push the head down, just put the tool inside, and then you can use him to screw and unscrew all of the hex screws that are inside of the castle. And of course Captain CannonBlast can do that with his Phillips head screwdriver. So super cute little figures. Let's get the sets out and talk about those. Okay guys, I have assembled both of these sets, and these are the two separate sets with the exception of this bone ladder that actually goes on this siege tower here. So I am going to bring this as close as I can to you and spin it around. It's very difficult. Alright. So I am going to spin this around to give you an idea of what this looks like the way that I have built it. And the drawbridge does come down. And there is the tool chest inside with a bunch of the tools, several of them which actually are the tools that the bashers become. There's a wrecking ball, a crowbar, a cannonball, and a sledgehammer, which are some of the characters. Now, some of these pieces I had to modify. These red bolts are actually wooden bolts that I had because the bolts in the set were not long enough to put the drawbridge here. There's actually no way that I could figure out to build this set so that all of the accessories fit in it and are actually accessible, which is a ridiculously huge disappointment. I was super stoked about these toys, and then they were honestly just way below the mark. But I'm going to show you the castle here too, and I'm going to move the figures out of the way so that you can see, and I'll kind of turn it around. It is not very sturdy. The bolts keep undoing themselves all on their own just while sitting here. As far as the two sets, the castle is definitely a lot more fun and has a lot more play features, which I'll show you in a second. This siege tower only has one play feature. It is a target right here, and when you press the target, the deck thing falls down. The issue here is that we are, I don't know, maybe about an inch from the platform instead of being flush with the platform, so it already sits pretty flimsily, and it's just kind of terrible. Now, if you'll notice on this cannon with the fist, I did not actually push it all the way into the cannon because it randomly ejects and hits someone without you hitting the button or being anywhere near it. So be super careful with that, guys. People are going to randomly get hit with that. This cannon does work and is kind of fun. I'll shoot the cannon here so you can see. I'm not going to go get that right now. My dogs are very concerned that I have just done that. There are projectiles as well on the castle. Got this one, and there's a cannon. Oh, I put it up here. There's a cannon up here as well, and I actually don't have a cannonball. Oh, wait, no, there's a cannonball, and I shouldn't click it all the way in, sorry. I am struggling. Alright, that one doesn't launch as well, does have a lot more action points on it. All of these targets will make a piece of the castle fall apart. So if you hit this target, this will come apart. If you hit this, it will open up so you can see who is imprisoned. If you hit this target, the drawbridge falls down. If you hit this target, this little balcony falls down. And this balcony is a lot better made. It's actually flush with the... Okay. One other thing about the targets is that they were super poorly made. So you have to kind of pull it back out because it'll get stuck. Otherwise you won't be able to set it up again. Am I missing targets on the other side? I'm sorry, I can't see that well. There also is a blast door on this side. I don't know whether you can see that. I'm turning a little. It doesn't actually open with an action feature, which is kind of strange. Now there are a couple other action features, and they are little red bolts that you twist. So there's a bolt here, and it releases a shield that they can hide behind. There's a bolt up here that, oops, sorry, I actually have it up. There's a bolt up here that releases these nails and actually gives Hammerhead a chance to push this down. And I think there's a couple others. Okay, there's a bolt actually in the back here. Turn this around so you can see. This one doesn't make much sense to me, but you can twist this and move the screw so you can actually do this. This trap door comes up, but it's not actually a trap door because there is a grate here, and I'm not going to turn this and show it because the whole castle will probably fall apart. It is not super well made. Additionally, there is a bolt on the inside here where you turn this and it'll open the drawbridge so that they can get out. That bolt is also mirrored on the other side, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why you would need this bolt to drop the drawbridge and this target to drop the drawbridge. I think that's kind of ridiculous. If anything, it should be on the inside so they can get out, not on the outside to get in. I get the target because the targets are all their weak spots, so when you hit it here, the drawbridge opens, but this one doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. Oh, I did miss the target. There's a target over here. Alright, some of these just don't work that well. There's a target over here that causes this one to fall. Okay, I think I've showed you guys all of the features that are on this. And I am going to go over the list of pros and cons. I've actually made a pretty extensive list for these. I made a pro and con list for each set, as well as a pro and con list for the combination of the sets and some improvements that I've suggested, and I wrote it all down so that I wouldn't miss anything when I was giving it to you guys. So we're going to start out with the Siege Tower since that was the first set that was released. As far as pros, there are 3 cannons in this set, which is super cool. Captain CannonBlast, of course, is the first cannon. There's also this cannon, which I showed you, and this cannon, so I love that. There are lots of vertical plane attachments, so anything on these sides, there are little holes where you can put something on a vertical plane. The flag is super adorable. It's a little cannonball with the crossbones, so it looks like a little skull. It's actually double-sided, which was super cute, and it's the only piece in this entire set that's double-sided, so that's fun. Also, I really love that the instructions are a little coloring sheet. Maybe not for ages 3, but for the higher age range. Okay, cons. I have a ridiculously large list of cons, but here we go. Okay, there's only one target feature, and it's really poorly designed. As I was saying earlier, this balcony doesn't start until about an inch from the other part. It's not flush up against it, and then the action is just super awkward. It hangs down too low and hits. It's really quite poorly designed for that aspect. I also mentioned this too, the fist cannon randomly deploys, which is very dangerous and a lot less fun. Also, I can't store it in the cannon because it will randomly deploy. We have pets, and if you've got any children wandering around, you really don't want a projectile randomly launching. Okay, Captain CannonBlast was really hard to push into his suit of armor. I had to use a lot of force. This is not something a 3-year-old is going to be able to do. I don't even know if some of the older children will be able to handle that, which kind of sucks because that's his main feature, and it's really hard to reload. I think parents are going to get really frustrated if they have to keep reloading this cannon every single time the kid launches it. So that was a little less fun. I did mention that there were a lot of holes on the vertical plates. That being said, there are hardly any on horizontal planes. There's one here and 2 on this middle platform, and that's it. You have those 3. So if you want to attach anything there, it has to go in those. Oh, I'm sorry, 4. There's one here too. So there are those 4 holes, and that's it. That's all you're getting as far as horizontal attachment planes. Also, because of the way that these are screwed together with tiny screws, there's really only 2 possible builds for this set, this way or the other way. I tried to do things where I could move one to the side or offset them, and it doesn't work like that. You can only build it the way I built it, or flip these 2 around and build it that way, which honestly I was hoping for a ton of imaginative potential, and I wanted to get creative with this, and I really couldn't. It was a super huge disappointment. There are no attachment holes on the front or back of this machine at all. All the vertical plates are on either side, or all the holes on the vertical planes are on either side. There's nothing on the back, which there aren't even any back walls, and there's nothing on the front, which also, again, limits your way to create this or add accessories. Also, while building this whole thing rolls, and since we didn't get any kind of wedges to stick in the wheels as you're trying to build this, it's rolling all over the place, and it's a little bit of a disaster and very difficult to work with. And then again, I mean, I had told you this too, I could not get a build design together where all of the accessories were in use and accessible to use, like including the drawbridge. Even when I added my 2 extra pieces so that the drawbridge could go here, I still couldn't find room for this ladder in anywhere that made any sense. So, super ridiculously huge disappointment there. Moving on to the castle. This one was a lot better of a design. They definitely made some improvements when they were doing this. Lots more accessories. Got like 11 different accessories that you can put, and tons of different holes you can see in the front of this. There are also 5 different targets and 4 different twist action pieces, so a lot more engagement play is available. I love the pop-up shield and the pop-up nails. I also love that with the nails we can now use hammer of head, or the sledgehammer guy. So, cons. Okay, I mentioned this earlier. This screw makes no sense being outside of the castle. It should have been inside only, and they should have removed this. It's also kind of lame that it's the same feature as this one. So I don't know what happened on the design, but that was something that shouldn't have been there. I also, on this part, really wanted to see a real pulley here, especially since we're teaching kids about tools and some of these simple machines. It wouldn't have been too hard for them to add a little pulley with, you know, an actual piece of rope or string, so you could pull it up and down and they could, you know, climb up the rope or down the rope. I think that would have been really neat to see. There's also only 1 hole on any horizontal plane, and by horizontal planes I mean any of these flat planes. So any of these bottom planes here, the only hole there is right here, which is why I put the cannon right here, and why I have this weird projectile over here hanging off the side. I can't put things in places where they make sense because there aren't enough holes, and I'm super, super, super disappointed by all of that. I also mentioned this action screw. It should have been a trap door. Why do we open a piece of the floor so that we can look down into the prison? I don't understand that at all. That makes no sense to me. Also, the target buttons stick a lot, and you have to pull them out with your fingertips or nails in order to get them to go back to where they need to be. So that was a disappointment. Okay, I have one more pros and cons list, and it is for the combination of these sets. So pros overall was I loved how on these projectile weapons we've got a 360-degree spin. That is super cool, and that's the case with the cannons as well as this ballista missile thing, and the other cannon here is identical to this cannon actually. So that was super fun. It's highly detailed. There's tons of textures. Even on the floor in here, we've got some wood grain, we've got the stone designs, we've got, you know, cracks in the bones of these Viking horns, of these Viking horns. I mean, it's super, super highly detailed. The use of color is well thought out and really nice on both. Love the color and how they had distributed that. This is a super fun piece, this adjustable angle ladder. I'm going to take it off so that you can actually see it. Oops. You can put it on either plane now because it's adjustable here. So that was a super fun plus. I'm just going to leave that there for right now. Okay, another plus that I initially thought might be a con, but when I thought more into it, I decided it was a plus. All of these accessories, and I guess I'll just show the one that I have pulled out, the screws are actually stuck in these accessories, which is good because that means if you lose some of the extra screws, you can still put the accessories on. These are completely attached, they won't come off, so that's a fun plus. The tool chests are super cute. In both of these tool chests, sorry, I forgot I had this trap door. I'm not, drawbridge. It's getting stuck on this other thing. But both of these tool chests actually have some of the tools that were, this is the builder's chest and it has some of the tools that the builders are, and this is the basher's chest that has some of the tools that the bashers are. So I think that was a really clever little detail that they added that made it a lot more fun. As far as the cons for both sets, I really hate that there's only one fastener type. The only fastener we have is these Phillips head hex screws, which means there's only 3 tools that can actually build this set. They are the Phillips screwdriver, so Captain CannonBlast, and okay, 4 tools can build this set. So Captain CannonBlast can build the set. Sir Philip, who is a Phillips head screwdriver, can build the set. King Hex, obviously, can build the set. And then there is a wrench toy. I don't actually know if he's supposed to be an adjustable wrench or a socket wrench. It's a little bit confusing, and we'll get into that later on his review. But he sort of can fit around these bolts and undo or redo them. But besides those 4, none of the other tools can actually be used to build the set, which was a huge disappointment. There is a character that is a flathead screwdriver, and she apparently can't be used to build anything in the set unless you use the wrong tool for the job, which I really, really hate that they're promoting at all. Why don't we have any flathead screws in here? Or nails for some of the hammer guys and the crowbar. I mean, I don't understand why that doesn't exist for a set that's supposed to be teaching building and different fasteners and things. A major con that I had told you about already is all these screws randomly start coming loose on their own without me touching them, which is super frustrating. Also, at age 3, these kids are not building this thing by themselves. The adult is going to have to put it together for them, which that's supposed to be a huge part of the play activity, and you lose it with that age group. So I really think they just targeted the wrong age and got confused when they were putting everything together. So super disappointed about that. Also, why don't we have more double-sided accessories? This flag I had mentioned earlier is double-sided and that's super cute, but the flagpole, for example, is flat on this end. And the horns are flat on this side. All of the inside pieces are flat on the other side, like they cut cross sections of them, and it doesn't look nice. They had so much detail, and then they just cut stuff. Why? Why did they cut everything? It looks terrible. Also, on these projectiles, I really would have liked to see you'd be able to turn it. It has screws here and looks like it might, oh, this one turns a little bit. Okay, so you can change the angle of attack, so that's actually pretty cool. It's a little tougher than the other screws because you can't actually remove those screws, but you can change what angle you shoot at, which is a pretty cool thing. Improvements. I really wanted to see multiple lengths of screws because, again, on these I had to put my own in because it wasn't long enough to put the drawbridge right here, which I really needed to put it in any kind of position so that I could get as many of the features usable as possible. I also think that each of the figures, since they come with little boxes inside of their boxes that are, you know, empty, they should come with whatever their fastener is. Like, each of the sets need to be able to be built by the one character that comes with it. I understand that. But we could put nails in these slots, or we could put flathead screws in these slots, or whatever kind of thing we needed to be able to use all the other characters, because I got all of them and most of them aren't useful for anything in these sets. They can't actually build or bash, so that's a disappointment. I really want to see that be accessible. I also want to see more accessory sets, like maybe some different theme sets, or even if we have accessory sets of just some, you know, plain planks that we can add in, and some different stone walls and all kinds of things that we can add to either or set to make it more options. Because as I said before, there's 2 builds on this set and there's 2 builds on this set, and that's it. These all come in big separate hunks that you can only attach certain ways, and that's it. You can attach it this way, or you can swap these 2 pieces. At least with the castle, I guess you could put one of these 2 pieces on the ground, or both of these 2 pieces on the ground next to it. But other than that, that's your whole build option, which is super limited and a huge, huge, huge disappointment. I'd also love to see some theme sets. Maybe we can cater more towards some of the females if we get a fun mythical theme that maybe has some unicorns or fairies or something fun like that. Or maybe we can have a Halloween theme where fun bat wings can come out of the castle somewhere or be attached to the pirate ship. I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities that they could do with this, where we could have other small sets and we could make these sets more worthwhile to play with and more educational and more imaginative playtime. So overall, I don't have great ratings for these sets, which is kind of terrible. The castle was a better set, so I did give it 3 stars out of 5, and the siege tower, or the Wreckin Roller, I gave 2 stars out of 5. I was so excited about these toys, and I feel ridiculously disappointed about them both. I haven't played with the whale set, and I'm not sure that I want to purchase it after seeing these 2, but knowing that they made some improvements on the castle over the Wreckin Roller does give me some hope. So maybe there's some better improvements in the whaler one, and maybe they will actually get things together and roll out better items in the future. So here's to hoping, because this concept is super cool. Anyway, what did you guys think of this set? What did you guys think of the age range? What kind of ages did you think were interested in it? My mom teaches 2nd grade, and I showed it to some of her class, and they loved some of the figures and the concept. So that's 7-8 age range, and I think that would be pretty perfect for safely learning about tools and different building ideas. Plus, you know, pirates and knights. That's awesome, right? So let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and check out my other videos. You can share them with other people. Leave any constructive feedback you have in the comments, and help me make better videos for you guys. So have fun, go play, and I will catch you next time. Bye.